Imagine standing on a quiet walking path early in the morning, your breath creating soft clouds in the cool air. You've laced up your sneakers, determined to keep your heart healthy and your body in shape. After all, everyone says cardio is key to staying fit at this stage of life. But as you start your daily routine, you feel a nagging ache in your knees and a heaviness in your chest that wasn't there just a few months ago. You push through, telling yourself this discomfort is just part of getting older. Yet deep down, you suspect something might be off, that maybe more cardio isn't always better. This uncertainty can be unsettling because we all want that sense of independence, to do things on our own terms without becoming reliant on others. The fear of losing our autonomy can be stronger than any physical ache. Now picture this scenario through the eyes of George, who turned 68 last spring. George took up running to strengthen his heart after seeing friends struggle with heart disease. Over time, he started running longer distances, believing it would protect him from the threats of aging. But the harder he pushed, the more exhausted he felt. His knees started to throb, and on some nights he'd wake up short of breath. Then came the real blow. At his annual checkup, his doctor told him he was verging on a repetitive strain injury, something that could drastically limit his mobility if he kept it up. George felt blindsided. Wasn't more cardio supposed to preserve his freedom, not jeopardize it? This contradiction is the crux of a challenge many seniors face. The well-intentioned desire to stay fit can morph into a harmful habit. Overdoing cardio can actually lead to issues like joint deterioration, accelerated muscle loss, and chronic fatigue. That's a hefty price to pay when all you wanted was to maintain your independence and continue living life on your own terms. If this problem goes unaddressed, you risk losing some of the very things you cherish, like playing with your grandchildren, traveling without worrying about exhaustion, or simply enjoying walks around the neighborhood without pain. But there's good news. The alternative to endless cardio isn't sitting still. In fact, there are far more effective and safer ways to keep your heart strong, your muscles fit, and your energy high after 65. Today, you'll discover 5 specific strategies that can help you protect your joints, boost your stamina, and feel more confident moving through your day. You'll see why drastically cutting back on intense cardio can actually open doors to better health and greater independence. And make sure to stick with me to the end, because the final insight is a game changer that few people talk about. Doctors and specialists are finally recognizing that a carefully balanced approach, focusing on strength, balance, and brief bursts of activity, can do more for your overall well-being than hours spent on the treadmill. Before we dive into the details, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications if you haven't already. That way you won't miss future tips that can help you stay active, independent, and in control of your health. And if at any point during this discussion you find these insights helpful, please type 1 in the comments. If you disagree or think there's a better way, type 0. That feedback helps me tailor content that genuinely makes a difference for you. Let's start exploring why overdoing cardio might be the exact opposite of what you need after 65, and, more importantly, what to do instead. The first big revelation might sound surprising. More is not always better. You might have heard that to keep your heart healthy, you should clock in as many minutes of cardio as possible each week. Some guidelines even suggest hours of moderate to intense activity. But here's the bold statement that challenges conventional wisdom. Excessive cardio can wear down aging bodies faster than you think. The common misconception is that hours of running, cycling, or power walking are an unquestionable path to fitness. Yet the truth is that past a certain threshold, all that pounding on your joints and constant stress on your cardiovascular system can undermine the very independence you're trying to protect. Consider Elaine, age 72. For years, she took great pride in her consistent exercise habit, daily sessions on the elliptical for an hour at a time. Friends admired her dedication. She believed she was a walking success story for senior fitness. But Elaine started noticing that her knees felt strangely stiff. Then her lower back began to ache. She tried to push through, determined to keep her streak alive. One afternoon, the pain intensified so suddenly that she nearly fell while stepping off the machine. Alarmed, she visited a physical therapist who explained that her joints were suffering from excessive repetitive motion and her heart was under chronic stress. The surprising insight? Her beloved daily cardio sessions weren't building her resilience. They were slowly eroding it. So what's the real solution here? Instead of piling on minutes, focus on a balanced approach. Specifically, try this small but powerful shift. Limit traditional cardio to 3 or 4 moderate sessions per week, rather than daily. Make these sessions shorter, 20 to 25 minutes, while dedicating the rest of your exercise time to gentle strength training, flexibility work, or leisurely walking. The emotional benefit is huge. You'll feel less worn down, less achy, and more in control. Think of it like switching from a hammer to a paintbrush. Instead of pounding away at your body, you're carefully crafting an exercise regimen that supports the joints and nourishes the heart. When you do it this way, the relief you'll feel, physically and mentally, is extraordinary. You'll move with more confidence, unafraid that every workout might lead to something snapping or straining. Now let's move to another misconception that often trips people up. Cardio is the best way to keep weight off. Society tells us that running or cycling for extended periods is how you stay trim and avoid gaining unwanted pounds in your later years. But the second major insight is this. While cardio does burn calories, it can also erode muscle mass if you overdo it, which ultimately slows your metabolism. Especially after 65, maintaining muscle mass is crucial not just for appearance, but for the autonomy to do everyday tasks. The average senior needs to preserve every bit of muscle to avoid frailty, to get out of chairs easily, to climb stairs, and to carry groceries without needing assistance. Think about Robert, who is 70. After retiring, he noticed his waistline expanding, so he started jogging 4 times a week, sometimes up to an hour at a stretch. On the scale, his weight dropped a bit, so he thought he was on the right track. But what the scale didn't show was that much of the lost weight was muscle. Over time, Robert felt weaker. Picking up a full laundry basket became a struggle. He found himself relying on the handrail more and more just to climb a short flight of steps. A personal trainer finally explained to him that chronic cardio was burning both fat and valuable muscle. His metabolism slowed, making it easier to gain fat over time despite all that jogging. The slogan to remember here is, "Muscle is your secret weapon for independence." Instead of chasing calorie burn through endless cardio, shift to muscle-preserving activities. How? Incorporate light resistance exercises, like using resistance bands or doing bodyweight squats 2 or 3 times a week. A beginner-friendly approach might look like this. 10 minutes of gentle warm-up, 15 minutes of targeted resistance exercises, focusing on legs, core, and upper body, then a 5-minute cool-down of stretching. This routine preserves muscle while keeping your heart engaged in short bursts. The emotional payoff is significant. You'll feel sturdier and more assured in your physical capabilities, reducing the likelihood you'll need help with basic tasks. Best of all, a balanced regimen wards off that creeping sense of dependence that can come from feeling physically frail. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment with the number 2 below to let me know you're here. Your engagement encourages me to continue sharing tips that can help you stay strong and autonomous. And if you haven't subscribed, I recommend doing that now so you'll be first in line to get new videos. Next, let's talk about an often overlooked aspect of fitness after 65. The toll overdoing cardio can take on your heart. It sounds counterintuitive. How can too much cardio harm the very organ it's supposed to help? But here's the surprising truth. Chronic cardio can place consistent high-level stress on the heart, leading to conditions like arrhythmias or elevated cortisol levels that disrupt your sleep and mood. The misconception is that the heart thrives under prolonged, intense effort. The reality is more nuanced. Your heart, especially in your senior years, benefits most from varied intensities, short bursts of effort interspersed with rest or gentler movement. Think of it like playing a piano. Pressing one key loudly and repeatedly won't create a beautiful melody. It's the mix of notes and volumes that produce harmony. Consider Olivia, age 73, a passionate swimmer who prided herself on doing 30 laps of intense freestyle every day. Initially, her doctor applauded her dedication, but she started experiencing heart palpitations in the evening. At first, she dismissed them as nerves or dehydration. After several episodes, she saw a cardiologist. Tests revealed that the near-constant intensity of her swimming sessions was pushing her heart into an overworked state. Instead of giving it room to recover, she was pushing it close to its limit daily. Once she adjusted to interval training, alternating a few laps of moderate freestyle with slow, restorative backstrokes, her palpitations subsided. She also reported feeling much calmer and more energetic throughout the day. Practical advice? Incorporate interval-based activities. For instance, if you're walking at a 30-second brisk pace every few minutes, then slow down for a minute. Repeat this cycle 4 or 5 times. Not only does this strengthen your heart more effectively, but it also prevents excessive wear. The emotional lift is real. When your heart feels strong but not strained, you move through your day with ease rather than anxiety. Sleep improves, mood stabilizes, and there's a comforting sense of self-reliance in knowing you're working with your body, not against it. Another misconception often overlooked is the idea that, as long as I'm sweating, I'm doing something right. We tend to equate sweat with productivity, but the fourth insight is that intense cardio can trigger hormonal changes, like spikes in cortisol, that actually undermine overall wellness. Cortisol, known as the stress hormone, can wreak havoc if it remains high for too long. It can lead to increased belly fat, mood swings, and even bone density loss. When you're over 65, maintaining hormone balance is key to preserving both physical strength and mental clarity. Look at Frank, who's 69. He committed to daily high-intensity spin classes because he believed a heavy sweat session was the ultimate sign of a good workout. After a few months, Frank noticed he was irritable, had trouble sleeping, and found himself craving sugary snacks, an odd twist for someone so focused on health. During a routine checkup, his doctor pointed out that constant high-intensity exercise can elevate cortisol levels, leading to the very issues Frank was battling. When Frank switched to doing spin classes only twice a week and used the other days for yoga and leisurely walks, his sleep improved, his cravings diminished, and his mood lightened. The takeaway? Balance your intensity for balanced hormones. This doesn't mean never breaking a sweat. It means using variety in your workouts. Pair a higher intensity day with a lower intensity one, and incorporate calming practices like deep stretching or meditation. The relief you'll feel, physically, mentally, and emotionally, can be life-changing. You'll wake up feeling refreshed rather than drained, and you'll notice that your overall sense of well-being grows, which in turn supports your independence. After all, a clear head and a steady mood are just as important to self-reliance as a strong pair of legs. If you're still with me and these points are resonating, please comment with the number 4 below. Your feedback shows me which insights matter to you and helps guide future content. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and clicking the bell notification. It's a simple way to ensure you stay informed and proactive about your health. Now let's move to the final and perhaps most transformative point. You don't have to give up movement or your love for exercise. Just shift your focus to what truly supports autonomy. For many people, the biggest reason they push cardio hard is fear. Fear that if they slow down, they'll lose the ability to keep up with life's demands. But ironically, the constant wear and tear from overdoing cardio can speed up the decline you're desperately trying to avoid. The solution is to center your exercise routine on functional movement rather than raw endurance. Activities that mimic everyday motions, like squatting to pick up objects, twisting gently for improved spinal mobility, or reaching overhead to maintain shoulder range of motion, often provide more real-world benefits than clocking miles on a treadmill. Anne, who's 74, served as a perfect example of this shift. For decades, she relied on distance jogging to stay young. Her mindset was that if she could still run several miles, she must be in great shape. But everyday tasks like carrying groceries or standing up from a low chair felt surprisingly tough. She felt disheartened, questioning how she could run miles yet struggle with simple chores. A friend invited her to a local functional fitness class tailored for seniors. There she practiced gentle squats, learned to lift light weights with proper form, and improved her balance through single-leg exercises. In less than 2 months, she felt more capable in daily life. Her sense of independence soared because she no longer worried about dropping a bag of groceries or catching herself if she slipped. The emotional benefit is unparalleled. By training for real-life movements, you're effectively future-proofing your independence. You'll discover that climbing stairs no longer leaves you breathless, or that stepping into a bathtub doesn't require a helping hand. This kind of autonomy fosters a deep sense of pride and confidence. It's not about swearing off cardio forever. It's about prioritizing the types of activity that will keep you vibrant and self-sufficient for years to come. A good rule of thumb is to follow a weekly plan that looks something like this. 2 days of moderate cardio, 20 minutes each, 2 days of light resistance or functional training, and 1 day of fun movement like dancing or swimming at a relaxed pace. Use the remaining days for rest or very gentle movement, like leisurely walks. That variety ensures you're training all aspects of your body, heart, muscles, balance, flexibility, without grinding any one system into overdrive. By now, you've seen 5 key insights that underscore why too much cardio can be counterproductive after 65. And more importantly, what practical steps you can take instead. Maybe you never realized that relentless cardio could chip away at your muscle mass, or that it could mess with your hormones and even strain your heart. Perhaps you've tried to power through aches and exhaustion, assuming it was normal. The good news is, you have the power to stop following outdated fitness advice. You can choose a path that supports both your independence and your enjoyment of life's daily activities. It's eye-opening to recognize that sometimes mainstream ideas about senior fitness oversimplify the truth. Sweating buckets on the treadmill day in and day out is not the only or the best path to vitality. Instead, a strategic blend of moderate cardio, resistance work, functional moves, and adequate rest may help you stay strong, maintain a healthy weight, and feel better equipped to handle the demands of daily living. Each of these points can elevate your quality of life in ways far more profound than simply hitting a mileage goal ever could. There's urgency in implementing these steps because your body's ability to adapt decreases with age. The sooner you adopt a balanced routine, the sooner you'll reap the rewards and the more likely you'll remain active in the long run. I'd like you to pause for a moment and imagine yourself 6 months from now. Picture waking up without that chronic knee ache. Envision your heartbeat feeling steady and relaxed, free from the pounding you used to give it. Think about being able to carry a basket of laundry up the stairs without needing a handrail. You set out for a brisk walk, feel the cool morning air on your face, and notice you're not huffing and puffing as you used to. Maybe after your walk, you do a few gentle squats and feel the subtle strength in your legs. What does that sense of autonomy feel like? That future is entirely possible, and it starts with small but meaningful changes. I encourage you to take just one step toward this new approach. Maybe it's replacing one of your long cardio sessions with a short functional workout using a chair and a light resistance band. Or perhaps it's dedicating a few minutes in the morning to a slow, deliberate stretching routine that sets a calmer tone for the day. As you start to feel the positive changes, less fatigue, fewer aches, a greater sense of confidence, those small steps will naturally become part of your new routine. Please share which point spoke to you the most. Was it learning how chronic cardio could erode muscle mass and slow down your metabolism? Or maybe it was the realization that too much cardio can actually stress your heart. Let me know in the comments. Your experiences and thoughts not only help me understand what resonates, but also provide encouragement to everyone in this community seeking to maintain their independence and health. Before you go, I invite you to take these simple actions. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. Your thumbs up support helps other seniors find this information. If you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll never miss a new upload, focused on empowering you to stay active and autonomous. And share this video with friends or family members who might benefit from learning the truth about balancing cardio with more sustainable activities. Remember, you're not defined by your age. You are capable of achieving and maintaining a level of fitness that preserves your freedom to do what you love. It's not about quitting cardio altogether. It's about doing it smarter. By prioritizing muscle preservation, balanced workouts, and functional movements, you're safeguarding something priceless, your ability to live life on your own terms. That's a power no one can take from you. Stay inspired, stay active, and know that every day you choose a mindful approach to exercise, you're investing in your future independence, one step, one stretch, one rep at a time.